When you meet Arnold, you get exactly what you think you're gonna get. It's awesome to watch. You know? How are you? So nice to meet you. I've been starstruck many, many times. As a matter of fact, this past year, I got to meet one of my childhood heroes. I got to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, some of you are clapping, some of you are like, wait. Well, here's the thing. I didn't love him as a politician, and I was too young to know him as a bodybuilder. All I knew is the movie Terminator was my favorite movie, and he was the Terminator. So, here's the story. I'm in LA at this red carpet event for some movie that I still haven't seen. I'm standing there with my publicist, okay? I'm standing there with my publicist, and she's explaining to me how the red carpet works. Listen, Gabriel, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go down the red carpet, and then the paparazzi's gonna start taking photos of you, and then someone's gonna ask you some questions. It's a lot of fun. Then we'll go inside, and then we'll go to the after party. It's gonna be great. As she's telling me this, I'm looking around, and I look over and I notice, I see him. I see Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I freak out. Relax. You've never met Arnie? I said, no, I've never met Arnie. I work with him all the time. He's really nice. Would you like me to introduce you? I'm like, yes. She takes me by the hand, and she walks me directly to Arnold. I'm freaking out so bad, I look like a big-ass toddler. We get over to Arnold Schwarzenegger's area, and he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's already got a big group of people around him waiting to take a photo. So I'm just patiently waiting. As I'm watching him, you guys, I gotta tell you right now, no one on this planet is better at meeting people than Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is the greatest people meter I've ever witnessed. And the reason I say this is because when you meet him, he's very engaging. He grabs your hand, he pulls you in, he looks at you in the eyes, and he turns it on. When you meet Arnold, you get exactly what you think you're gonna get. It's awesome to watch. You know? How are you? So nice to meet you. You're so strong. You put my hand. Hey, look at you. This is incredible. Got these lights and this red carpet. This is incredible. Excuse me. How are you? Hey, you're so strong. You put my hand. This is incredible. Look at you. People are walking away from him, looking at their hand. They're looking at their hand, you guys. 10 minutes I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger light people up. And then I noticed something else. I noticed that Arnold has a handler, a guy who stands right behind him. And it's this guy's job to basically reset Arnold for the next person he's about to meet. Arnold Schwarzenegger will never cut off a conversation with the fan. The guy behind him listens in on the conversation, and he determines when enough is enough, and then he signals Arnold to cut it off and move on. Here's the signal. He grabs the back of Arnold's arm right there, 2 times. 1, 2. That lets Arnold know, cut it off, time to move on. Always to the left. Awesome to watch. This is incredible what these lights and these special effects is going on here. Excuse me, how are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Hey! I'm like, oh. So I yell out to the handler, hey! And the handler turns around. Hit him! I want to meet him. Hit him! And he starts laughing because now he sees that I see how the Terminator is really working. So he gives me one of these. Next thing you know, he is lighting Arnold up. He is hitting Arnold so fast, Arnold can barely keep up. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Excuse me, pardon me, high five, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Very good. Pound. He's coming down the line, and I'm just waiting. And I stick my hand out, and he grabbed it. How are you, son? I recognize you. I know who you are. You're the comedian who does the joke about the Indian man trying to rob a bank, but he cannot rob the bank because they are making fun of him. And in my head, I'm like, he knows me! Outside, I'm like, yeah, that's me. You are hysterical. Give me your contact information. You are the funniest person. Excuse me. How are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Hey! Meeting Arnold is like a really good roller coaster. You want to go to the end and meet him one more time. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy is Miss Tina Knowles Lawson, Beyonce mama. She had invited me. I had got invited to her birthday party, right? But she didn't invite me. Somebody else had. They didn't know I was gonna be there. So what happened was, I was at the birthday party, right? And Beyonce had came in and her suit was banging. I was like, oh my God, this suit is amazing. She said the suit was from Christian Siriano. I was like, Christian Siriano made that suit? Oh, well, I know Christian Siriano. I'm gonna ask him to make me a suit too. She was like, okay. So then, when he sent me the suit, right, he gave it to me fresh off the runway, right? It was just, it couldn't even pull over my thighs or nothing. It didn't fit. So I was like kind of devastated. So then I thought to myself, let me call Beyonce mama, just take a shot in the dark, see if she'll let me borrow that suit, right? So I called Beyonce mama. I say, hey, Miss Tina, how you doing? You know that suit that Beyonce was wearing that night at the party? Do you think that Beyonce would let me borrow it? She was like, you know what's crazy is she was talking about gifting that to you, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to fit it. You know, Beyonce had 3 kids and you didn't have none. I was like, well, we'll see, you know. We'll see. Girl, I got a needle and thread, don't worry about that. Right? So then she called Beyonce. The next day, the suit is at my house. The suit is like at my front door, and I was like, oh my God, Beyonce is the most dopest person in the whole wide world. Beyonce is the epitome of women supporting other women. That's girl power to the fullest. Like, she's supporting other women. That's what I love about her, right? And then I had put the suit on, and it fit me perfectly. It was a little loose in the titties because I don't have none, but it fit me perfectly, right? It fit me perfectly. So then I called Beyonce mom. I said, hey, Miss Tina, it fit perfect. The suit fit perfect. And she was like, it do? I said, yeah, it fits everything. It's a little loose in the breast area, but everything else fits perfectly. And she was like, for real? I was like, yeah. She was like, wow, I'm shocked. I was like, shots fired, Miss Tina.
Snoop has a TV show where he interviews celebrities. Everyone in the room is waiting for Snoop to return. You can hear the small talk, you know. All of a sudden, everyone stands up. And I'm looking around like, what's going on? And I look at the door to see if Snoop's walking in, and I don't see him. And I could see my son. I don't realize it, but Snoop is entering the room through a different door. I don't realize it till like the last second. I'm like, what do you? Oh! So I jump up, I push in my chair. I'm so nervous, I don't know how to address him. So I'm like, I felt stupid. Snoop walks over to me, and he's so cool, you guys. He's so cool. He walks over to me, and he grabs my hand. He's really strong. He pulls me in, and he says, yo, what it do, baby boo? How you feel? Thank you for having me. Yeah. Can I sit down? For sure. I sit down, I look over, I see my son. My son's like... The difference between Snoop's show versus any other talk show I've ever done is that usually there's a person, like a producer or a director, who comes to you and gives you information, like how the show begins, topics you're gonna cover, how you go to commercial, how you come back from commercial. I've spoken to no one. Snoop just starts talking, and at some point, they hit record. I'm waiting for action or a buzzer, something. Snoop just starts talking to me. Yo, what up, Big Fluff? Big Fluff, oh, that's, hey. Yo, you like music? Snoop, I love music. I love your music. Yeah, that's what's up. He opens up a laptop computer, and then he hits play. And the next thing I know, we are listening to hardcore Mexican banda music. I mean hardcore. And you can hear gunshots in the song. Ta-ta-ta-ta-dun, ta-ta-ta-ta-dun, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And then a cow. And the whole time Snoop is like, I love it when he go moo. What? I feel like he's messing with me because I'm Mexican, right? So I called him out. I said, Snoop, do you understand what you're listening to? And he said this, and it scared me. He said, gangster recognize gangster. The reason why it scared me was because he was telling the truth. We were listening to actual Mexican cartel songs that don't play on the radio. And the fact that he knew that, the fact that his level of street knowledge in another language was that on point, I said, I gotta shut the hell up. Don't speak unless spoken to, that's the code. Next thing I know, Snoop reaches under the desk and he pulls out the biggest blunt I have ever seen. Oh, this sucker was huge. As soon as he pulled out that freaking blunt, I got excited because I wanted to grab my cell phone, okay? I wanted to grab my cell phone so that I could take a selfie of Snoop in the background being Snoop. So while I'm fumbling, trying to get my phone, Snoop starts talking to me again. Yo, Big Fluff. Yeah, what? Hit that while I hit this. The second I went like that, all of the cameras in the room, red light, red light, red light, red light, red light. My publicist is like, no! My son is like, yeah! And now I'm being faced, bro, I'm being faced with a serious situation because, you know, I've talked about friends participating in doing stuff like this, but I've never openly talked about myself, you know. And now I realize that from this moment forward, people are gonna know what happened here with Snoop. So I started trying to find ways to justify it to myself. You know, if you're gonna do something like this on camera, you want it to be with Snoop. You want it to be with Snoop, Cheech and Chong, or Willie Nelson. Next thing I know, the manager hands me a lighter, I light it, and I take a big hit. So listen, I'm doing my best to hold in all this smoke because I don't want to look like a punk in front of Snoop Dogg. I'm trying, I'm fighting, bro. It's hard, you know. The whole time Snoop is like, hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. Fluffy going puffy today. I do not remember the rest of the interview. What I remember is my buddy Anthony telling Snoop Dogg and I to stand up for a picture. Stand up, get up for a picture. And so Snoop and I both stand up to take this picture. I put my arm around him. I have to put my arm around him because he's much taller than me, okay? Snoop has me by at least 5 inches. Shut up, are you?